That's why you have mosques and churches. And so the religion is not a political system. Secularism, on the opposite of it, is a political system. But what is more important for me is for everybody to live according to your religion, in order to ensure that, one, we are not confused. We are not being confused by this new bombardment of ideologies that are anti-human in the first place. So, if I tell you to walk backwards, or I tell you, okay, as from now, you should teach your children to eat with the left hand. Now, I think the only way to solve your problem, if you are confused, is to look at what your religion says about what hand you should use to eat. That's what we are talking about. So secularism is political, religion is not political. Its religion is divine. People that are outside, the way they see, it's not as important as we that are inside, the way we behave. And if we behave according to our religion, we will not be divided. If we want to really achieve what we want, I don't think we should go around offending God, because if we do so, you're calling for Allah's wrath, and we have seen what we are seeing, catastrophic, inexplicable phenomena today. Is that what I want for the country? No. And that's why I want us to live according to your religion. Because all of us, when we die, they're not going to ask you which political party you belong to. First, they want to know whether you're a Christian or a Muslim. Whether you are a good Muslim or a good Christian. They don't judge you whether you are a PRC or otherwise. And that is why religion is indispensable in today's world especially. If religion was relevant then, it is more relevant and indispensable today.
Yeah. So you just highlighted the role of religion in maintaining peace, especially in the national context, and that brings to mind...
Not only national context, but internationally. Universally, religion is indispensable in maintenance of peace and stability.
Yeah, that takes us back to the local situation. What's your impression of the state of crime and criminality since the implementation of the death penalty and the ensuing moratorium that you issued? What's your impression of the level of crime and criminality? Has there been any major changes?
Yes and no. Immediately after the executions, even break-ins or breaking-ins were very rare until we announced the moratorium. The day we announced the moratorium, within 48 hours, 4 people were mercilessly and brutally killed. And so you see one brutal murder after the other. But it has gone down for now. I don't know whether it's a consequence of my statement that I reserve the right to put aside the moratorium. Because if, at the end of the day, the law says that there is a reason why the law was promulgated in the first place. And so, even in religion, in both the Quran and the Bible, an eye for an eye is a divine law, justice system. The crime rate, as far as I'm concerned, sometimes also it depends on how active the police are. But with regards to violent crime, unfortunately it starts from the family level, and then it ends up in fatalities. Well, there hasn't been, since the last murder case that I had on the news, there hasn't been another one so far, touch wood. But as I said, I can always lift the moratorium and have them executed, because that is what the law says. So let nobody think that the moratorium is permanent. No. Depending on the situation, it will be taken out and people will be dealt with according to law.
The agenda of repealing the death penalty is not on your table at all?
It will never be on my table. Never. because all the good law, divine laws have the death penalty. And so why should I take it out? If the Gambian people decide to take it out, yes. If the Gambian people decide to take it out, that is the decision of the Gambian people, and then they bear the consequences. But not for me as a head of state to repeal it because of pressure from outside. I will never, on my own, repeal it. The death penalty should be there because in our religion, the death penalty is there. And this is the religion, this is what is prescribed by the Almighty Allah. So as an individual, and that is why I will not pardon anybody condemned to death. That's my philosophy. I will never pardon rapists, thieves, murderers, and drug traffickers. Never. As well as human traffickers. Never.
Now let's talk a bit about the foreign policy. Of late or recently, you granted an interview to a neighboring channel, and you talked about the Gambia's position vis-a-vis the Casamance problem. I'm sure the Gambian populace would want to share those ideas and comments of yours.
Well, what you are referring to as granting an interview to a foreign channel was actually a joint interview where Grts was there and 3 or 4 other international news media. So I don't know why it is attributed to only TFM, because maybe the guy asked that specific question. But as far as I'm concerned, I think Gambians are aware of the fact that any criminal who escapes from the Gambia goes to Senegal and then ends up having not only Senegalese identification documents, including passports, but some of them diplomatic passports and protection from the state of Senegal, which is unacceptable. Now, the impression they try to give, which is a violation of international law and also a violation of the ECOWAS statute. In ECOWAS, there's a convention of ECOWAS, or a resolution of ECOWAS that says that anybody who's planning something evil against any country in West Africa cannot be given residence in any country. In fact, that also is the ECOWAS extradition treaty. That anybody who wants to destabilize another country, if he comes to the Gambia, he should be handed over to that country through ECOWAS. So, the idea of human rights or whatever, Gambia is a death penalty state is nonsense. It's just hypocrisy. Now, why would you even go to the extent people have plotted coups against my government? People wanted to destroy this country. They escape. Not only do you grant them asylum, but also provide them with security and a platform to talk nonsense. This is unacceptable. Now, even thieves, criminals, those who are engaged in drug dealing, when they escape the law here, when they jump here, they go to Senegal, and they're still in Senegal. And the Senegalese government cannot say they are not aware of it. So how can you be a good neighbor if my enemies, you are the host of my enemies? They host all the people that do not wish this country well in the name of Western pressure, in total violation of the Geneva Convention, in total violation of the convention, the ECOWAS Convention on Transborder Crime. Now, how would you feel if I say, oh, you are a brother, and each time you come around, somebody wants to kill you, he escapes and comes to my house, and he lives here peacefully? How would you feel? Now, also, what type of neighbors are we talking about? Where only products from Senegal can be sold in the Gambia, but products from the Gambia cannot be sold in Senegal. So this is diplomacy also is about tit for tat. And for so many years we have accepted a lot of nonsense, and we are not going to accept that anymore. We are going to reciprocate to the letter. You want me to